Today we will start with Chapter 4, Conducting Marketing Research. In this chapter, we will understand the following objectives. What is the scope of marketing research? What steps are involved in conducting good marketing research? What are the best metrics for measuring marketing productivity? According to AMA, American Marketing Association, marketing research specifies the information required to address these issues, designs the method for collecting information, manages and implements a data collection process, analyzes the results, and communicates the findings and their implications. It is important to understand that good marketing insights often form the basis of successful marketing programs. That is how and why we observe certain effects in the marketplace. Who does marketing research? Spending on marketing research topped $40.2 billion globally in 2013, according to ASMO, the World Association of Opinion and Market Research Professionals. Most companies use a combination of resources to study their industries, competitors, audiences, and channel strategies. They normally budget marketing research at 1% or to 2% of company sales and spend a large percentage of that on the services of outside firms. Syndicated service research firms. These firms gather consumer and trade information which they sell for a fee. Examples include the Nielsen Company, Contact Group, Vestat, and INI. Custom marketing research firms. These firms are hired to carry out specific projects. They design the study and report the findings. Specialty line marketing research firms. These firms provide specialized research services. The best example is a field service firm, which sells field interviewing services to other firms. Often, at much smaller companies, everyone carries out marketing research, including the customers. Small companies can also hire the services of a marketing research firm or conduct research in creative and unaffordable ways. Companies may not understand what is capable of or provide the researcher the right program definition and information from which to work. They may also have unrealistic expectations about what researchers can offer. Failure to use marketing research properly has led to numerous gaffeles, including the historic one involving Star Wars, as mentioned in the text. In Figure 4.1, we could see how the marketing research is done. Firstly, the program is defined and the research objectives are decided. Then the research plan is developed. After that, information will be collected and analyzed. After the analysis, the findings will be presented to help with the decision. Marketing managers must be careful not to define the problem too broadly or too narrowly for the marketing researcher. To help design the research, management should first spell out the decisions it might face and then work backward. Now, management and marketing researchers are ready to set specific research objectives. Some research is exploratory. Its goal is to identify the problem and to suggest possible solutions. Some is descriptive. It seeks to quantify demand, such as how many first-class passengers would purchase ultra-high-speed Wi-Fi service at $25. Some research is casual. Its purpose is to test a cause and effect relationship. Secondary data are data that were collected for another purpose and already exist somewhere. Primary data are data freshly gathered for a specific purpose or project. Researchers usually start their investigation by examining some of the rich variety of low-cost and readily available secondary data to see whether they can partly or wholly solve the problem without collecting costly primary data. When the needed data don't exist or are dated or unreliable, the researcher will need to collect primary data. Most marketing research projects do include some primary data collection. Observational research. Researchers can gather fresh data by observing unobtrusively as customers shop or consume products. Sometimes they equip consumers with pages and instruct them to write down or text what they are doing whenever promoted, or they hold informal interview sessions at a cafe or bar. Ethnographic research uses concepts and tools from anthropology and other social science disciplines to provide deep cultural understanding of how people live and work. The goal is to immerse a researcher into consumers' lives to uncover unarticulated desires that might not surface in any other form of research. Our focus group is a gathering of 6 to 10 people carefully selected for demographic, psychographic, or other considerations and convened to discuss various topics at length for small payment. A professional moderator asks questions and probes based on the marketing manager's agenda. The goal is to uncover consumers' real motivations and the reasons they say and do certain things. Sessions are typically recorded, and marketing managers often observe from behind two-way mirrors to allow more in-depth discussion. Focus groups are training smaller in size. Survey research companies undertake surveys to assess people's knowledge, beliefs and preferences and satisfaction, and to measure these magnitudes in the general population. Behavior research. Customers leave traces of their purchasing behaviors in store scanning data, catalog purchases, and customer databases. Marketers can learn much by analyzing these data. Actual purchases reflect consumers' preferences and often are more reliable than statements they offer to market researchers. The most scientifically valid research is the experimental research, designed to capture cause and effect relationships by eliminating competing explanations of the findings. If the experiment is well designed and executed, research and marketing managers can have confidence in the conclusions. Marketing researchers have a choice of the 3 main research instruments in collecting primary data: questionnaires, qualitative measures, and technological devices. A questionnaire consists of a set of questions presented to respondents. Because of its flexibility, it's by far the most common instrument used to collect primary data. The form, wording, and sequence of the questions can all influence the responses, so testing and debugging are necessary. Closed-end questions specify all the possible answers, and responses are easier to interpret and to tabulate. Open-ended questions allow respondents to answer in their own words. They are especially useful in exploratory research, where the researcher is looking for insight into how people think rather than measuring how many think a certain way. Table 4.1 provides examples of both types of questions. Also see marketing memo, questionnaire, does, and don'ts. Well, qualitative research techniques are relatively indirect and unstructured measurement approaches, limited only by the marketing researchers' creativity, that permit a range of responses. They can be especially useful first step in exploring consumers' perceptions, because respondents may be less guarded and reveal more about themselves in the process. The basic assumption behind the Zeithaml metaphoric elicitation technique is that most thoughts and feelings are unconscious and shaped by a set of universal deep metaphors, basic orientations toward the world that shape everything consumers think, hear, say, or do. What are associations? To identify the range of possible brand associations, ask subjects what words come to mind when they hear the brand's name. Projective techniques give people an incomplete or ambiguous stimulus and ask them to complete or explain it. Visualization. Visualization requires people to create collage from magazine photos or drawings to depict their perceptions. Brand personification. ask if the brand were to come alive as a person, what would it be like? What would it be done? And what would it leave? What would it wear? Who would it talk to? If it went to a party, or what would it talk about? Laddering. A series of increasingly specific why questions can reveal consumers' motivation and deeper goals. That's for today's lecture. Next time we will continue with more details to conduct marketing research. Thank you.